Okay, I'm going to actually close that page that I was on, and we're actually going to return now back to the document, um, to our training session, which was number 9, adding links to your website. It's good to put other links to your website. For instance, links to the local economic development office in your area that gives a lot of demographics about the location in which you operate. So these things are discussed in segment 4, which is a website workshop, and these are part of the series of 6 different videos that you can read to help you develop your website, which is your storefront to the public. Any question on adding links to your website or actually having a website, ensuring that you have a website? Someday when you retire, you'll notice number 14 on the screen. I'm back to the red document, the information program that we're on here today. We have a retired brokers program. Is simply this: if you have a website on the internet and it's active and it's getting a little bit of traffic and you get the odd inquiry about something, would you mind doing a 5-minute referral that averages $5,000 to $10,000? If you do, we suggest that all retired brokers in the world should stay on ICI World, the one program that can help you continue to do business in a fun way without using very much of your time, literally 5 minutes a referral. One broker called me from the West Coast, said, Gary, I just got a check in the mail for $6,000. I actually like going on 5 minutes a day and just checking the service and see what's happening. I'm actually retired and enjoying it, and I like getting the odd check as a result of his association with ICI World. Now, if we were to go to number 11, which is the power of education, take our training, if you were to click on that and click there for next training, you'll see that we have a series of 6 different segments. Segment 1 is the marketing plan, parts 1 to 12. Segment 2, 13 to 21. An update training, the power of linking, one of the true powers of the internet. Searching and linking, segment 3. The website workshop, segment 4, learning how to get your storefront to the public, operating properly, and learning the philosophy of a website, which is so very important. If you don't know the philosophy of a website, you're missing out. So all this session today is doing is highlighting important things that make sure you get through these 6 different sessions, and then you're going to be very well equipped to put all of this stuff into play and to continue building success on the internet. How to promote your website, of course, another very important one as well. I'm going to return to our red document, and we're moving up to number 12. Number 12 is you should have at least 15 opportunities to do business on ICI World. And even if you're a residential real estate broker or salesperson, please read item 13 in the marketing plan. It's not just about listings, but it's about information. By the way, that could be number 12 in the marketing plan, and I made a mistake there. And number 13, of course, is retired brokers, and 14, how the program works. Number 15 are 3 links that you should have on your website. Company links, if you're a broker and you have an office with many salespeople, there are special company links you can put on your main company site that literally becomes a database of haves and wants of all the people in your company, so that you just put the link to the haves and wants of people in your company from your main website. If you're a Remax or Home Life or any other kind of franchise, you can have a franchise link that goes onto your main franchise website. We suggest that you as a broker request that the franchise people put that on your main website, because they also get traffic. And if some of that traffic that goes, say, to the main Remax franchise website or Royal LePage or Cushman and Wakefield, depending on whatever it is, the haves and wants collected by ICI World on behalf of your members can be demonstrated, displayed right from your own website for your own members. It's a free link and it's easy to do, and it helps every single one of your members do business as a result of having that link on your main website. Number 17 is filling in your haves and wants properly. Basically, what happens is some people are filling in listings, but they're not completing them. Our members sometimes are not linking to photos, and they're not filling in even just simple thing as the subject line of the 4 items to put in the subject line: the location, the type, the price, the size, and sizzle. Sizzle is simply what's so good about your property in the marketplace over all the other properties in the marketplace. And when you think about the attention span of people for properties and they're reading through these lists, you've got to kind of capture their attention right away. So think of a hot button that they could be interested in and make sure that's in your subject line as well. In the case of wants, make sure that you put the word wanted in your subject line. And make sure keywords are in your subject line. If you have a donut shop for sale, make sure the word donut is in your subject line. If you just say Tim Hortons for sale, people searching donuts won't find you. In a smaller center, it's always good to relate to a larger center to give people an idea of where you're located. The other thing is that you should do some linking to an economic development office in your ad to help sell the location of your properties. 90% of the problems some brokers have in North America, all over the world, sometimes is not the property itself. The property's beautiful. It's simply getting people to come to your location in the first place. And I can tell you that by putting the link to the local economic development office in your ads, directly in your listings, will help attract people to move to your location. We've had offshore people buy $5 million buildings. And because of these links to the local area, they say, my God, what a lovely area. Why don't we invest there? We can get management. They've got built-in management. That looks like a great place to invest some money. There's a lot of money in the world, millions, billions of dollars. The world is awash in money, looking for safe places to post that money. Each of you that are online listening to this now can provide a very real service, because what's better, to put their money in the bank or to put it in real estate, people? I'm asking a question. The question is better to put their money in, if there's millions of dollars and they want to invest it, is it better to put it in the bank or put it into real estate? You bet it is. So find projects for these people. Find a spot for them. It's much better to find things. I don't care if it's a 5, 6, 7, or 8% cap rate. It's way better than 2% in the bank. The property's going up in value. The cap rate doesn't take that into account, but an internal rate of return would. And those are the kind of things that you can learn in the CCIM program if you ever take that. That the return on your investment can be 10, 15, 20%, something that a cap rate can't show. And those are the kind of things people are looking for to invest their money in real estate. When they hold a deed to a piece of real estate, that's pretty darn safe. Their money is secure. And it's wonderful for people to own real estate. And that's a great place to protect money. And so they're looking for locations to do that. And if you provide these links to your location to show how safe and wonderful it is to live in your locations, people will invest money in real estate in your locations. How to link to photos, that's another little document that you can learn, how to link to photos in your ads. And there's instructions there all for it. But we also teach that in segment 3 as well. Now we're going to be coming up to the end of today's session. Number 18 is something called caveat emptor. Let the buyer beware. I'd like everyone, please, in number 18 to click on the news page. If anyone is lost, you can always go to ICI World Home up at the top and click on news page on the left. And on the news page, you'll see a lot of suggestions that you must become aware of a lot of problems that are on the internet, because you are all on the cutting edge of technology, taking advantage of the most fabulous marketing vehicle known to man, advertising vehicle in the world today, namely the internet. It also comes along with problems, and the people that solve the problems can provide great services to people using the power of the internet. But if you're not aware of the problems of the internet, then you can get yourself into problems. I would like you to go down this page until you see a great big red sign come up in the middle that says Internet Safety Tips, Combat Spam, Spyware, and Phishing. Can everyone find that, please? You'll find it on the red document. You'll also find it on the news page. Please click on that now. Let's click on it. Okay, and you're going to see something called a spam IQ test. Do you see that? And by the way, each of these articles, the spam, the 3 key tips for combating spam, the phishing, and the spyware, all of this is covered in our segment 3 on going into how to combat some of this stuff. But we're going to also do it now very quickly. We've got about 6 minutes left in today's session. It was a 90-minute session. Let's click on 3 key tips for combating spam, please. And one of them is protecting your computer. So you should install and regularly update antivirus and anti-spam software. We're talking paid software. If you don't have paid software, you are not keeping up to date, period. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It might be protecting some things, but it's not up to date. You've got to have either McAfee, either Norton, some other software. In the case of people in certain internet service providers, if you call up your internet service provider, they may have one. In the case of the one service that we're on, Cogeco has their own spam virus software. You can call them. They provide it to you absolutely free. So you might get it from your own internet service provider. The next thing is protecting your email address. We're suggesting that you reserve one email address for your trusted personal and business contacts, but that you also create expendable email addresses for other online uses. Have you ever signed up for maybe a free service on the internet, or you signed up for something you weren't sure you'd like? You put your email address in, and 2 days later, bingo, you start getting tons and tons and tons of junk email. That's because they are misusing your email address. Use your expendable email addresses for signing up to those kinds of things. Keep your trusted and personal business one reserved for your trusted personal business email address. The other thing is protect yourself. Don't buy or reply to spam. Just delete it. It's a great way to prevent receiving more spam in the future. If I was to hit the back button, there are phishing. I'd like to point that out right now. Phishing tips to avoid being reeled in by a phishing scam. And if you click on that, if you get an email or a pop-up message that asks for personal or financial information, don't reply to it. And don't click on the link in the message either. Legitimate companies simply do not ask for this information via email. And you know something, people? This particular link to this particular website that helps people learn about this might be something that you could add to your own website to help all of your personal clients, prospects, customers, and even your colleagues in the business. So if you're concerned about your account, you contact the organization mentioned in the email using the telephone number you know to be genuine, and do it that way. Don't click on those. Keep your antivirus software and firewall up to date, and you can read about more information there. Spyware is another one. Tips to lower your vulnerability to these things. You can read about that. There is a lot of malicious spyware, and some of them have actually tracked keystrokes. Can you imagine if they're tracking keystrokes, and if they're able to track a password to a bank account? My God, I hate to think what could happen. But keep the security up to date, people. I cannot emphasize that as much. You know, you spend $30 every 3 or 4 months getting an oil change on your car. This anti-spyware stuff is absolutely essential. Make sure you have a paid version. Okay, I'm going to close that page on the top. Also on the news page is you can read about how people, literally the CIBC, which is a bank in Canada, for instance, puts out fraud alerts and other things to help keep you posted on what's going on the internet.